If you're a dude between the ages of 18 and 25, you guys be killing it. A lot of you dudes, I guarantee this is some of you guys, you be in your mind thinking, man, I'm getting old. I'm 19, I'm 21, I'm 23. I'm getting so old and life is passing me by. I can't believe I don't understand what I want to do and who I am in life. You dudes be making it sound like you're fucking 50 years old and you're going through a midlife crisis because you realize that your life is flashing before your eyes. You need to understand something. Men age like Sean Connery. Men age like Sean Connery. And if you don't know that phrase, it actually comes from a guy that I follow on YouTube called Strong Successful Male. He oftentimes will reiterate in his videos that women age like Sean Connery and men age like Sean Connery. And let me explain. He's basically saying the famous actor Sean Connery, as he got older, he was still developed and he still retained a lot of the abilities that made him an extremely famous, extremely notarized, and very powerful actor. So as he aged, he was still able to fulfill that role. He was still able to captivate the audience on the movie screens. Here's the guy from James Bond, the original James Bond, not this new shit, but the original James Bond. So essentially, even though he was aging, even though his hair was falling out, even though you could see that he had physically declined as a man, he still retained what allowed him to be a very powerful and a very successful man in the music industry. You need to understand something. Men age like fine wine. The things that make us attractive when it comes to women, when it comes to businesses, when it comes to just people around you, like your friends and your family, those things grow with age. You see a lot of these videos where guys say women's peak is in their 20s, whereas men's peaks are in their 30s or in their 40s. You guys need to just slow down, have patience, and stop overthinking things. I'm gonna explain what I mean by that, why men age like wine. And quick disclaimer, if you're a dude and you sit on your mama's couch, you smoke weed all day, you smoking with cigarettes, you're not doing a damn thing with your life. You play 2K or Fortnite or whatever fucking game they got going on right now, and you're literally on your couch, you do not age like fine wine. You age like spoiled milk. You are stinking up the joint. Dang, I feel a sour smell because you're not even putting in any type of work to cultivate yourself as a man. So if you're one of these dudes who ain't really doing a damn thing with your life, please unfollow me, please block me, stop watching this video, exit out, and do not watch any of my videos because you are wasting your time if you're watching on this channel, but you're not putting in any type of work. I'm talking about a young guy who has potential. He knows he has potential. He knows where he somewhat wants to go in life, and he feels like he can get more in life, but he doesn't have all the tools and all the aspects needed for him to grow and for him to develop. That's the guy who's living in existence in a pond, but he knows he can get to a king. Even myself, I used to be like that, and I'm growing and I'm continuing to develop my mindset and to develop my tools and my skills as a man. These are the guys that I want to deal with. You are going to be the guys who will develop and grow just like fine wine. Because when you look at wine, the longer you preserve it, the longer you allow it to marinate, it gets sweeter. It tastes even better. When you pop a 20-year-old wine, ooh, it smells good, man. It feels good, it tastes good, right? It's just like how a lot of you guys are gonna grow. That's why I'm so excited to do this video. I'm gonna literally break down why you guys age like fine wine if you make the right necessary steps. So the first thing, there is an aspect when you grow as a man, as you develop, you start to develop into your man body. A lot of guys, when you're a teenager, you're somewhat scrawny. A lot of you guys are short. Like me, when I was in middle school, in the early years of high school, I was pretty short. I was like 5'3", 5'4", real skinny, scrawny dude, right? And I started to develop my height, but I was still extremely skinny. It wasn't until like my early 20s where I started to put on some muscle. I started to gain a lot of the facial hair, because women, you know, they're attracted to men with nice facial hair. When your body starts to, match your age per se, you start to become more attractive to women. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Now, yes, there are younger dudes where they may develop into their man body at 17, 18, 19, but in general, men develop their physical peak in their mid to late 20s, mainly their mid 20s, around 23, 24, 25. But outside of just your physical peak, you also have your mental peak. Because when you get into your 20s, you stop making the stupid, dumb mistakes that you used to make when you were a teenager. Driving reckless and not understanding the situation. You're driving fucking 50 miles an hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. You're driving reckless. You can't think because you drank 2 drinks with your friend and now you're trying to drive home. Just very dumb and stupid decisions that a lot of young guys make. When you start to grow and develop in your brain and your mindset, you aren't gonna make a lot of these same incidents. Now, some men never learn and they make the same stupid mistakes when they're 30 and 40 years old as a young dude who's 17, 18, 19, 20. So keep in mind, as you guys start to grow and mature in age, your mental capacity to make decisions is going to improve. That's the reason why when it comes to the NBA and the NFL, oftentimes younger guys, they make stupid mistakes because their mental capacity is not there. They're not able to analyze and read. Just like when I explained to you guys in my video how to analyze the game of life, I said that you had to go through certain experiences and certain trials and sit back and analyze what was in front of you for you to be able to make the right decisions. That's just a part of it. That's just what you gotta go through. So as you guys start to grow, if you're young watching this, when you get into your mid-20s, late 20s, and early 30s, things is gonna slow down and things are gonna get a lot easier for you. Now, I want you guys to understand something. Yes, I do talk about the physical, but when it comes to you becoming a king, the vast majority of your power, the vast majority of your skills, it's not coming from your arms. This is maybe like 15, 20, at most 30%. But the vast majority of your power as a man in this society is gonna come from how you use your brain, how you use your mouth, and the type of mindset that you cultivate as a man, the type of work ethic that you, and determination and resiliency that you have as a man. These things are not physical. They're all within your mental mind frame. So if you're able to develop it right and you're able to put the work in, you are going to start to see and reap a lot of the benefits from it, especially as you get older. You guys should buy a book called The Slight Edge. It speaks on this phenomenon about how where you're very determined and you work towards something with a skill, you grow exponentially. You don't really see the rate of return when you first start, but as you grow and as you continue to develop, your growth starts to skyrocket to the point where you reach a certain age that things just come so easy for you. The return on your investments comes so, exponentially big that it allows life to become extremely easy. So when you use that slight edge effect, what typically happens is that you start to gain a lot of things that are not physical. And I'm gonna explain the reason why. And this is what allows men to age like fine wine. When you're a man, you oftentimes accumulate resources as you grow. If you guys were saving money at 18, by the time you're 40, you can have $1 million in the bank. And money is power in this society, point blank period. As you guys start to grow, when you're in your late teens, early 20s, you're still trying to figure out stuff in high school, you're still trying to figure out things in college, you're still sucking on your mom's titty, proverbially speaking, right? So you don't really have any resources. And that's often why a lot of you guys get disrespected as men when you're at a young age, because you have nothing to command power. Women oftentimes respond to power. If you do not exude any sort of power in a different form, women are not gonna respect you, and you're gonna constantly be dealing with BS that women can bring you if they have no respect for you. As you start to grow and as you start to accumulate resources, it's easier for people to look at you from a place of power. Your mom's not gonna belittle you anymore because now you're helping her out. Your friends are not gonna belittle you anymore because you have things that can make their lives easier. Your woman, your kids, they look at you as a source of power because you have resources. So when you have things like money, when you have properties, when you have land, these things typically are accumulated with a man from his hard labor, or if you're blessed enough to have a family that did these things for you to allow you to be put in a good position. But the vast majority of people, especially minorities, that's not gonna be the case. So as you start to grow and as you start to develop, and as you start to put in that work and obtain things, you gain more resources, which people around you are going to come to you for, or they're going to want to work with you because you have something of value that they can exchange. And see, the reason why this is very controversial is women look to men for resources. But men don't look to women for resources because naturally as a man, you're going to have a provider gene inside of you. So typically, if a woman has a nice house and she has a nice car, if you're a bum, yeah, you're gonna want to deal with that type of chick. But if you're a guy who's determined, you really couldn't care less. When it comes to women, most men look at women for their beauty, the way that they are, their personality, and their beauty. Why do you think when women are younger, they get so much, stuff from people? Because that's just how they were made. That's how the Most High created them. The Most High created the woman to be admired for her beauty. So with women, they get a lot of their value in it. Now, some women, they develop other strategies, other skills, other resources that can help a man out. But the vast majority of men look at women for how good they look. That's just the honest truth. But with the men, it's different. Women come to you for your resources and what you can, provide for them to a certain extent. So you as a man, you just naturally get these things as you grow and as you develop. If you make the right moves, if you continue to improve, and if you have a strategy and a game plan for your life, not just short term, but long term. Now, another reason why men age like Sean Connery or age like fine wine is because they develop connections. They develop a network. As you guys start to develop and you go to these different places, especially if you're a guy who moves around to different areas, like me. I was born in California, but I moved to Florida, went to college in South Florida, came back to California, went to school in Pennsylvania, went back to California, then moved to Texas. I know a lot of people, and I've developed certain relationships with different people in different areas. So as I've grown, if people need something, or if I want to go somewhere, I have a larger pool of people that I can work with. And that just comes with age, that just comes with time, that just comes with experience. So, as a man, if you're very socially adept, especially for you guys in sales, I was in sales, you start to develop your social skills and people just start to like you. If you're very charismatic, if you're very charming, if you don't burn bridges, you start to develop a wide range of network of people who can help you out in life and who can make your life easier. And that is a prominent skill that people want and that people admire in life. The guy with his mouth closed, I'm just gonna be real with you, your life is gonna be harder. You can't do things on your own. A wise man, a mentor of mine, he says that many mans make your burden light. So the more hands you have helping you up and strengthening you up, that's going to allow your life to become much easier. When you know lawyers, when you know accountants, when you know social media influencers, when you are in a position where you know people who can get you certain connects, it makes your life easier. That's just how it goes. That's why oftentimes extroverted people, when it comes to the societal standard of like status, money, and things like that, they're on a higher level because they put themselves out there more than a man who's very introverted. Not saying that an introverted man can't have these skills as well, but I'm saying if you want to grow a business, if you want to network, if you want to, upgrade your position in life, oftentimes it's not about what you know, but who you know. So as men, if you're able to develop these different relationships, essentially that gives you more power and that allows you to age like fine wine. Now, another thing is that as a man, as you start to grow, if you're living your life and you're not afraid, that's why all these videos are interconnected. Because I did the video on the art of offense and I explained to you guys that as a man, you cannot be afraid to take actions for who you want, for what you want, and for where you want to go. So one thing that you gain from doing that a lot of people just quite frankly don't understand is you gain a different file, like a filing cabinet. Like your mind is like a computer file cabinet. And as you start to develop, as you start to do different things in life, you start to retain certain information. You start to retain certain skills. When you have certain experiences and you're learning different tools like seduction, like game, like how to influence people socially and increasing your skills, is that you get a formula for what works and what doesn't work. And you gain wisdom and understanding and you have a myriad of experience. The reason why women are more attracted to older men is because they have experience with dealing with women. The reason why your friendships get better as you age is because you have a file cabinet of good people in your life and bad people in your life. So you're not going to make the same mistake twice as a man. If you're able to analyze and learn from your mistakes, you are going to have, you just don't have game. You don't know how to play the game of life. And that just comes with time, and that comes with you putting yourself out there and making the right moves to learn. So the older you get, the more experiences you get, the more game you get, the more strategies you learn, and your life just becomes easier. It just becomes easier, bruh. So, that's another reason why men age like fine wine, is because they learn from their experiences, they apply the game the right way, and it's just way easier for them to deal with other people. You can read people easier, you can find better women easier, you can, go to different businesses, and you already know what you're talking about. If you want to run a company, you already know what you're talking about. So it just makes things easier for you in your life, and it allows you to succeed a lot better as you grow older as a man. You gain more skills to be more charismatic, more charmful. You get my point? You're more resilient because you've been through shit, right? And that also ties into the aspect that you age like wine as a man because you gain wisdom. A man of wisdom is it is the best thing in life, man. Not just when it comes to just, this physical world or this monetary world we live in, but also spiritually. Because in life, as a man, you have to be a guide. You have to be a fountain of life, a fountain of water. When you speak to people, especially if you have friends, you want them to grow. You want them to develop. And you can't allow people to grow and develop if you ain't been through shit. It's just the truth. So, for you, when you gain wisdom, you start to see, people in your family die, unfortunately. You start to see people deal with certain relationships. And when you sit back and analyze, you gain wisdom. You read books, you watch videos from guys who have more understanding than you. It all kind of comes together, and you learn how to speak this wisdom to other people. So when you have kids, you know how to teach them and develop them. When you're dealing with people who are having issues with friends, you know how to teach them, you know how to develop them. If you're running your own company and you're a consultant, you know how to teach, you know how to develop the people around you, because as you grow and as you gain more experience, you gain wisdom as a man, and you don't make the same mistakes. That's the reason why a lot of older men, when they don't apply themselves, people don't have respect for them, even though they're an elder, because an elder is supposed to teach somebody something. An elder is supposed to have knowledge and experience to be able to teach somebody. So as a man, you have to have those things, and that will allow you to age like sweet, sweet wine. And the last thing, when you accumulate all these things that I just explained, when you have more experience, when you have more game, when you have more wisdom, when you have more resources, when you have more connections, it allows you as a man to have more power. If you're a man and you don't have power, you can gain certain things, but people are not gonna respect you like they do a king. The difference between a pawn and a king, outside of just their abilities, is that people see that the king has power and a pawn is at the mercy of other people. And as a man, it's intrinsic in you to have some sort of power bench. When you live a life, when you live an existence, and you do not accumulate any power, your life oftentimes is gonna be a living fucking hell. That's the easiest way that I can describe it. And I'm gonna explain the definition of what power is according to ChatGPT. It says power is the ability or the capacity to influence or control behavior, actions, decisions of others, as well as the ability to achieve desired outcomes. So essentially, power is you have the ability to exert your will and your influence as a man on other people. Even when I'm doing these social media videos, the way that I talk, I'm not talking like I'm an informant, like I'm giving you information. I'm talking from a place of authority, because I'm at an age now with all the shit that I've done in my life that I can talk to you and tell you this is what it is. I'm confident about it, and I know it. I just know because I've been through things and I've learned from other men who've been through the same things. Life is not complicated. Life will give you patterns. Life is simple. It's hard, but it's simple. So if you're smart enough and you're learning from the right people, they're gonna give you the formula. You don't need to cheat the system. And as you do that, and as you become a voice, you're able to influence people around you. You're able to exert your ideas and your will on other people. And if you're a righteous man, if you have other people's interests at heart, people will appreciate you and respect you, and they're going to follow you because you have power. One of the most important decisions I ever made in my life was dropping out of college. Not necessarily because I dropped out of college, even though I personally don't agree that, young men should go to college. I feel more often than not it's a waste of time, especially if you don't have a degree that can really help you, especially in this economy. But it wasn't just necessarily me dropping out of college. It was that the mentor that I had at the time, I asked him what I should do, and he told me to get into sales. Sales is more than just about making money. It's about gaining social skills that you can use in any interaction with your family, with your friends, with the women that you're talking to, with your coworkers, with your boss. My life is a lot easier because I know how to interact socially with people. To tell you the truth, I'm at the point now where I don't really care to do a lot of the sales shit that I used to do because it's very time consuming and it taxes me as far as my energy levels. But even outside of that, the natural inclination that I learned from doing sales, I'm reaping the benefit of it. And essentially, when you are a salesman, you learn how to influence people with your body language, your expressions, your emotions, your energy, and with your words. And that's one of the strongest ways that you can gain power. Because a lot of you dudes isn't gonna be millionaires. Most of you dudes is not gonna be corrupted in these government, because they have power. The people who run the government, they got a certain amount of power, right? They run over the justice system. But if you have a strong voice, not only just with your physical strength and the people that you know, but if you have social power and social skills, you can gain things from people even if you're just the average Joe Blow. Those are the guys who have the mouthpiece. Those are the guys who have a way with words. And oftentimes when you combine those things together, you gain power. But more so than just with what I'm talking about socially, with money comes power. With who you know comes power. Why do you think a lot of these rappers and people, they become affiliated with the mob? Because they're associated with dudes who have physical strength and power to get things from other people. Not only just that, but they get in league with different politicians so they can sway and manipulate different jurisdictions. The elites who run the world, they have all the politicians under their thumb, and they have military backing, nuclear bombs, and all these things because they are affiliated with people with strong power. Not only just that, but knowledge can give you power. So when you understand these different aspects, and when you as a man, you develop those things and you allow those things to grow, that's how you can, age like fine wine. So for those of you guys who are trying to find yourself, you don't really know exactly where you're going, and you feeling like your life is just rolling on. If you 17, if you 19, if you 21, if you 23, calm down, playboy. Calm down, my guy. As long as you're taking the right necessary steps and going through these different circumstances and developing yourself, you will age like fine wine. I promise you. The women that you want, they're going to start looking at you, even if you're not the most good-looking dude. The people who are around you, they're going to be better people around you, even if you don't have a fucking Bugatti or a Rolls Royce. You get my point? And you will start to develop a game plan to allow yourself to become a proverbial king in a world that's filled with pawns. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. I sure enjoyed making it. If you guys like the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Help me grow my channel and feed this bullshit YouTube algorithm. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.